What's up guys, Rick Denham here, Holy Moly Outdoors. Welcome back to another Tech Tip Tuesday, and boy do we have something exciting for you because really the first part of spring is here and the kokanee are biting. So early season kokanee is going to be our focus, so stay tuned. This is going to help you catch some fish right now. Alright guys, so like I said, we're talking early season kokanee fishing, and for a lot of us here on the west side of the state where it's still not frozen in, you have early fish to catch. This means the fish, because of the rising and warming temperatures, you have fish near the surface of the water. They're starting to get more aggressive, and this is a great time to get out. Whether you're the most novice kokanee fisherman or advanced, you don't need a whole lot of gear. You can really get by with some simple techniques, and it really is a fun way to get a lot of different types of people out, friends, family, neighbors. It's just a blast. Some of the best fish you can eat too. So personally for me, I love this time of the year. I mean, when I started kokanee fishing, I had the little SS Red Hook, just a little 12-foot Livingston, nothing fancy, but it caught a lot of fish. And I learned from the early season fishery how to really get set up for kokanee. So for your guys' sake today, there are so many different techniques to go over in early season that will catch fish. So I'm going to really avoid a lot of that because I did cover 4 years ago in a video for early season top lining kokanee. So you guys can look up above here and see that video. But what we can talk about today is the advancements in 4 years that has really helped us to get better at top lining or early season fish in general. Because like I said, a lot of our western lakes, some of our eastern lakes do as well, but a lot of these western fisheries on the, I should say west side of Washington State, Oregon plays into this as well, that these kokanee become very aggressive this time of the year. Flashy, all sorts of different things that will really get their attention. So you don't have to have an arsenal of 250 Dodgers like some of us do and more lures than you'll ever use in a single season. Really, you only need a handful of things to get yourself started, and the advancements that's happened in 4 years really makes this simplified. So a couple things I'll talk about because we didn't cover in that first video is rod selection. So guys, when we start talking fishing rods, there are a lot of different options out there. Honestly, you can go through any sporting goods store and find more than you will ever want to know about different kokanee rods. Kokanee fishing is one of the hottest things growing right now in the Northwest. Really is something amazing to watch. And I have found over fishing the last 6-7 years now for kokanee that gear has greatly improved to help the fishermen out. You can get stuff that works for multiple ranges of opportunities throughout the season. You can fish something with top line early that also works well for downrigger fishing later on. So I organize and associate my gear towards the type of fishing that I'm doing per that time of year. So we're early season. We're talking rods. We're talking parabolic, meaning that rod will bend from cork to tip, has a really soft action to it because you want that thing to absorb the strike. These fish are notorious for their soft mouths. So when you do get those bites, you want to make sure that they stick, and as they thrash and spin and do all their things that they do, that hook stays in there. So I want something soft. I want something that's going to help me out and get me more fish to the boat. Personally, I've fished a lot of rods and I've come to love Velocity. Best customer service hands down I've ever come across. Two of the nicest guys out there are running that company, and I have found that I just really love each line that they have because of the versatility. And so for me, I fish Velocity. Not saying that you have to, but you'll see why when you pick one of them up. Personally, for me, I have a couple different options that I like to run. And honestly, it's a lot easier to be out on the water to showcase for you, so I will show some video clips of this for you. But right now, the Velocity Elite glass rod here, the blue, happens to be one of my all-time favorites. This thing just straight up produces. Does really well handling the top line season. Heck, we're out here a few years back on Lake Roosevelt smashing 4-pound kokanee using that rod. Tons of fun. You can see how much that fish really has to play with that rod because it absorbs it. So that's one option. You can get an option where a rod that is, not glass, it's more of a composite blend, and something that really has the best of both worlds. So gives you a little more backbone into another technique that we like to do, and that is dropper fishing. So this rod came out, happens to be another Velocity, and this is the Red Team Kokanee. Very parabolic tip end, just like the blue rod has. Very effective and fun for this early season fishery as well. There are both, the Red Team Kokanee is 7.3 and the Blue Elite is 7.9. So you have a little bit more length with that 7.9, but this Red Team Kokanee is just a money rod for those early season fish. And honestly, while the Red Team Kokanee rod will definitely work for your dropper fishing, Velocity came out again with 2019 with a new rod completely designed for you guys that like to fish droppers. That is the Velocity Samauri. Now, I personally don't have my hands on one yet. It was a super hot show item this year. I'm looking forward to picking one up. But that one is for sure a dropper rod. Perfect in all aspects, and I cannot wait to get my hands on one to fish for this season. But dropper fishing is a whole nother deal in its own self, so we'll cover that in a separate video. But you can definitely get away with some of these early season fish using droppers instead of having to go the downrigger route. That's why top lining is so much fun. So super exciting. We can't leave out, I do have a good custom rod that I had built for me as well. So again, all following the same suit. This custom rod is built on a 5-weight fly rod blank. So fly rods are super parabolic with the way that their action is built. This one is a Realtek Custom, carbon fiber grip handle, all the bells and whistles you can ask for, with a 7-weight size fly reel. And what's cool about this, those different colors there are all lead core line. So this rod is specifically built for top line fishing. And again, Lake Roosevelt, you can see it in action right there. So obviously I've talked a lot about top lining and their rods, but from top lining in the original video that I did, I covered a lot of older style rigs. Obviously we have a lot of updated tackle nowadays, so I do want to cover that as well. And we'll go over to another clip where I filmed the other day talking about these specifically. There's a lot of new and exciting tackle out there for you guys to really take a look at and enjoy. So let's jump over to that as we talk more about the actual tackle. Before we jump in to the next segment about the specific tackle, because times definitely have changed, it's been 4 years, we want to really touch base on reels. Now, with top lining or early season fish in general, you are closer to the surface. Whether you have the luxury of downriggers and you can use them 5 to 10 feet down, or you can just top line with droppers. There's a lot of different ways, and we'll go into those in separate videos. But reels wise, there's 2 options you can go: straight level line or a line counter. And honestly, both have their bonus. If you can get forward the line counter, by all means. I mean, shoot, I did a kokanee fishing on a budget video right up here with an Eagle Claw rod for kokanee, simple Abu Garcia Black Max reel, and I can guarantee you that that rod setup and everything for the price point that it was will absolutely hammer fish. Don't need to have the super expensive $400 rods. Now, the other side of that, you definitely can notice a difference. If you have a line counter, it'll tell you exactly how far back those fish hit. It will give you different advancements in where you can track how your success is going. So really is all up to you. I specifically run the Velocity Warrior reels on typically most of my smaller Kokanee gear. If I'm bumping up my Kokanee gear, I run the Recons from Velocity Fishing. So they're two different style reels, two sizes a little bit bigger, and they both work great. They pair up really nice. I mean, I got one right here on my Red Team Kokanee. This is the Warrior. I run them all left-handed, and it's a great little reel. Really packs a punch, does well. I mean, shoot, got a nice 7-pound Chinook out of Chelan. So I definitely have confidence in that thing handling more than it's built for. So for you guys, it's again a preference choice. You guys can go out there and pick what you want. By all means, people are going to have different opinions than the stuff that I'm showcasing here. So don't take it as the end all. But what you want to take away is the importance of some of these pieces to make you successful. So let's jump ahead. We're going to talk about some of these advancements in the tackle world in 4 years and really showcase some new fun, exciting stuff that's out there. But for early season fish, a lot of the time, you don't need the dropper, you don't need the weight. You can just get away with doing something simple as clipping a dual lock snap spool from your main line straight down to your Dodger, clip on your rig, and you are fishing. So the first style I would say really works well in this early season fishery is something like these oval shaped, right? These style Dodgers have a bend in both sides, you can see there. And that bend allows that Dodger to really kick even at the slower speeds. And so it dives down about 5 to 8 feet probably by the time it's all said and done, because it is a little bit bigger, has a little bit of weight to it, really can get you right in the zone for those early season fish. Now that's a little bit larger. That's a Gulls Custom. And I'll have everything linked below for you guys. But another good one is one of these Dick Nite ones. Now the Dick Nite, compared to the Gulls Custom, it's a little bit size difference there. But these Dick Nite ones, just absolutely day in and day out, really do well. But that oval style would be the first one that I'd be looking at. Second one is a little bit more of a teardrop shape. And what I mean by that is you're expanding out the Dodger to have a little bit more length and a little bit wider back end, which really creates a nice kick. So you have Dodgers like the Barrett Dodger here. Has the same really nice profile, makes some really good side-to-side kicking motion. Does well. How about a custom, but more like an arrow flash style here? This one's again by Gulls Custom. Really works well. Early season with those colors. Here's a more traditional arrow flash. That one works well, top line. Or you can look into more, like here's one of the new Rocky Mountain tackle ones for the 2019 season. Double-sided, custom bends in that thing. It really kicks. Another one I'm excited about is one of these Polina Peak. It's a little bit heavier, got a cool different shape to it. So all these Dodgers by themselves get deeper. You do not have to add a lot of weight to them. The further your setback is, allows them to work a little bit deeper in the water column. So I then follow them up with, in the spring, my rule of thumb is the fish generally want something flashy. Early morning in particular, not a lot of pressure on the water, these fish get aggressive. So what I like to do then is throw something with flash. Whether it's a spinner, a hoochie with the blade on top of it, or something that's going to grab their attention. So for rigs wise, I go a couple different bases. I'll have one rod in the boat that's always going to have a spinner, one rod that's probably going to have a fly with some sort of a blade on it, and then I'm going to have another rod or two with some variations of different stuff, and I let the fish tell me what they want. I mean, spinners like these Rocky Mountain Tackle, Moon Jelly Splatter came out last year and were dominating. This year they came out with a downsized Hornet version, which I think is just going to be absolutely phenomenal as well. But a spinner like that creates a really nice attraction in the water. When I refer to more of that fly with a blade, you can look at something like one of these Olympic Tackle mini squids here. Super effective. It's got a Moneymaker shaker wing on top. Makes a lot of great commotion. Or you could even go something like another, this one's a Kokanee snack by Olympic Tackle with a How Do You Tackle blade on there, the Carnivore blade. A lot of great movement. I've done videos in the past on showcasing the blades for Kokanee and how they all different interact. So with that all being the case, spoon is on one rod, or a spinner, excuse me, is on one rod, fly is on another. Speaking of spoon, then we go something like the God's Tooth. And you guys saw a video not too long ago where I showcased how to rig these for Kokanee. And so I always have one of these now in my boat rigged up. It's very effective, works great for these early season fish as well as throughout the season. So I then have something like a spoon. And then I want something that has a lot more action than the rest of these. What I mean by that is I want a bait or a lure that in a lot of sense creates commotion on its own. I could use it with the Dodger for extra attraction. Could also run it by itself just so it's, you know, a little bit more different. Now, a lot of these early season fish, you want that attraction because they're going to be schooled up, and that's going to be just a triggering mechanism. So I generally pair these last items with a flasher or Dodger just so it continues to keep that schooling mentality and keep these fish willing to bite. This happens to be a 1.8 inch Old Goat lure. Has a really effective, almost flatfish style where it has a wiggle, but it also rolls. So that fish is going to see something just going crazy in front of them. And I've had it really successful. And in fact, this year they came out with a specific Kokanee version. So you guys think a lot back to those super baits, right? The mini cut plugs from Brad's. Well, how about there? Those mini cut plugs work great early season on. So you guys can really play and experiment with a lot of different things and let the fish tell you. If one rod with a spinner, let's say, is just getting slammed over and over and over again, you might want to put some spinners on. You know, custom ones like I do here give you some different contrast for the day conditions. Just all depends. The fish will tell you what they want. And no day's the same. You might be on a hot bite one day where all the fish wanted green. Well, the next day you go out there, they want purple. It can change daily. It can change by the minute. It can change by the hour. So being prepared as a kokanee fisherman, having a good spread out there will really make you more effective. In a lot of our places, if you have the opportunity to do so, you can run some different gear. Now, when I say different gear, I mean ways to push your gear outside of the boat. It's tough in crowded conditions, so I do not recommend a highly populated lake to do this on. But let's say you do move over to the east side of the state. Early season, big kokanee, trolling on the surface. We did this a couple years ago at Lake Roosevelt. We were just top lining Dodgers. You can even put them on planer boards and stick them away from the boat. They even make some Dodgers like the Max Lures Double D that will push it off to the side dependent on how you hook up the Dodger to your main line. So there are ways to improve yourself getting your gear away from the boat, away from the commotion, getting it further back, and it really becomes effective. So I hope you guys can take a little bit from just this snippet today of early season kokanee and their love for flash and attraction. I mean, I haven't even talked about the scent, I haven't talked about bait, all those different things, because that's a whole thing in and itself, and everybody has their own favorite recipe, so I won't even necessarily touch base on that too much. I might do a little something where you can simple corn cure, make it easy, simple, but as far as it goes for types of gear this time of the year, I'm running Dodgers flatlined with spinners, flies, spoons, and even that little crazy plug. So you give something different, let the fish tell you what they want, and you will find yourself successful for some of the most tasty fish you can find this early spring. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Guys. I had an absolute blast going over one of my favorite fisheries with you in this early season time, and I really hope this helps you get out on the water and go catch some fish. So we'll catch you next time on the water. If you have any questions, put them down below in the comments. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe. We finally hit 4,500 subscribers, if you can believe that. Our channel continues to grow, and it's all because of you guys. Thank you so much. Take care. We'll catch you out there later. Fish on!